Welcome everyone. I hope you had a great day so far and you will have a great time today and forever. Okay, I can see there are already, you are here, okay. We'll wait only for a few minutes, then we will start. Today we'll be doing core of programming, so we'll have lots of interesting things. Good afternoon, Adnan, Layli, sorry, Yusuf. Hello, Yusuf, how are you? Everyone, those who just wrote something on the chat, welcome to everyone. Humaid, you raised your hand. Do you want to speak or you just raised it to test? I will find out. You can speak now, Humaid. You need to unmute your microphone if you want to speak. Okay, Humaid, you have a problem with your microphone. Muhammad Mansour, Muhammad, he knows how to.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
العافية دكتور، بارك الله في الجهود.
الله يسلمك.
دكتور معلش بدي أسأل بالنسبة للامتحان.
أيه.
امتحان النتيجة بتطلع مباشرة بعد ما يخلص الواحد؟
أيه بتطلع على طول مباشرة.
طيب هاي نقطة واحدة. النقطة الثانية في اوبشن محطوط على الاكزام سمري ريدو اكزام. هذا الريدو يعني للكل اللي نجح فيه ولا ما نجحش فيه للكل ولا كيف؟
redo the exam للي ما نجح فيه. إذا نجحت خلاص ما تحتاج عاد إنك تعمله redo مرة ثانية. تمام.
اوكي احنا ايوه.
Or review questions, you can try them more than once. تعرف review questions. But before submitting the final one, yeah.
Okay, when will be the last session?
Tomorrow will be the last session. So if try to get this exam as soon as you can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll do tomorrow also a revision, try to do a revision for the whole thing and see how things will go.
Okay, and we need to concentrate a little bit, Doctor, with on Panda and NumPy and these file-related issues.
Yes, we'll do, but the exam doesn't have that many questions from that one. It's the balance. There are 25 questions. They are balanced between all of them, but we will do the Pandas and NumPy to make sure that you practice it well.
Okay, thank
Inshallah. You. Okay, thanks. Bye. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming. I think we should make a start. We have a good number already with us here. I know people who completed the certificate and they are excited. So they already not coming to us. That's fine. So we can focus on those who really need help. So in the chat, I added, in the chat, I put the links to few things. For example, the AHA slides you're going to use today, it's in the chat. You look at the chat, you will find it. I hope I sent it correctly. No, I didn't send it correctly. Sorry for that. I'll send it again because I sent it only to myself. Okay, let me, or to the panelist. Now you will see it. This is the AHA slide link in the chat now. And the next one is the IBM, where you need to go into the IBM and create the account. By now, you should have created the account. The third one is our community portal, where you can find the recording of the previous sessions. So these are the three things that you will need to have. Okay, so today this one is about fundamentals of programming. I think it's maybe the one that people who are new to programming, they will find it more useful because it gets them into really the programming. And then we will go through that. So now module 2 or module, this is module 3. How many of you completed module 2? Yes, I'm happy to see now more of you completed the review questions. This is good. Yeah. Yeah, some in progress is taking a little bit long, but that's okay. So these are things. Now, today, the questions you will get, I made a change on those questions to make it work like a team. So you will be in a team. This team, you need to decide which one you join. Team, the maximum of 5 people. We'll see how you will manage this dynamic of a team together. And the score is given to the team based on the total score of every member. So if each member is doing well, then the whole team will do well. You will like it. It's a different way of answering those questions. It's always good to try different things. Now, if you didn't start looking at the review questions, if you follow us in these sessions, you will find it very straightforward. It will not be very complicated for you to do this. Okay, the 2 questions, I'll come to them. Now, today content, what are we going to do? We'll talk about conditions, which is important to know. It helps you with all the things, the loops. Then we'll talk about functions. We'll talk about object and classes. This is a big subject, but we'll do it in a way that should be easier for you to understand and you relate it to what we do in this course. And then we'll talk about exception handling. When there is an error in your code, how you manage your code and doesn't make it crash. This is what we will do today. Now, starting by the conditions, and we will jump into the conditions. These are the conditions. Now, in you, I think this is something you understand, hopefully, and you will make it clear for you more and more. When you try to check if 2 things are equal, so is A equal to B? This is the way you read it when you look at it. A equal. See, the 2 equals means you're checking if A is equal to B. 1 equal means you're assigning the value of B to A. We'll look at it now. Let's get into the coding and you will now start understanding it better. So I will run the Anaconda because it becomes faster and easier, but you can do it through the IBM cloud. Let's click on this. Very good. We are here, so we created a folder called Python, and let's create a new. I will just remove my video. I don't think you need to see me. You have seen me many times. We'll click on new and I'll create Python 3.9 something. Now look at this one. If I see 5 more than 6, is 5 more than 6? No, yeah. So this, if I run this one, I'll get false. In fact, 5 is not more than 6. So I'm trying to compare, have a condition, if 5 more than 6. Yes, it's false, yeah. But if I say 6 more than 5, this is true. Yes, the 6 is more than 5. If we're talking about the same 6 and the same 5, we know. Similar thing, if I say 5 equal to 6, this will give me false because 5 is not equal to 6. Yeah, and this is how it works. If I have A is, let me put A, let me zoom in a little bit. A equal 4 and B equal 8. Okay, these are 2 variables. I can come here and say A equal B. This will give me false. But if I say A equal B, it will not give me anything wrong. But if I look at A now and look at B, I'll find they are equal because with this one, I assign the value of B to A. Yeah, But if I want to compare them, I should use two equals. Yeah. Let me go back and run this one now. Here. And then this thing, we don't need them. Let them go away. Yeah. Okay. So if I use this one, this is correct. Okay. So we have equal, equal. That's when we looked at it. We have equal, equal. We have not equal. Again, if I come back here and say A is not equal to B, I get true. Yes, A is not equal to B because A is 4 and B is 8. Yeah, that's very clear. So this is not equal. Yeah, good so far. Now we have less than, and equal. We have more than and more than and equal. Now, how we can use this into programming? Now we know now how to compare it. Now, if I have a software I want to write that say if A is more than B, then see I put the colon, yeah. See, this colon is very important, yeah. Then print bracket A is more than B. Yeah, let's make it both small so we are consistent. It doesn't make difference. Now, if I run this, and now it is not giving me an answer. Why? Because actually A is not greater than B. But now if I say else, in the case if it is not, then what to do? We'll print A is not equal. Good, you're noticing I need quotation mark, yeah? Is not equal to B. I need a quotation mark here and quotation mark here. I heard you saying that. This is very good. Yeah, because that's text. Now, if we run this one, notice what we're getting. If anytime I run this one, I'm getting A is not equal to B because this condition is, sorry, this condition is false. Let's make this one off. So this condition, the answer of the condition is false. So it will not run this line. It will jump to the else and do that. So if I come here and change this, make A 8 and B 4, yeah? B equal to 4. Now I change the value. If I run this one, what I'll get? I'll get A is more than B because it's using this line. Why? Because A is actually more than B. A is 8 and B is 4. So it's doing this one. Yeah. So the else will work when the condition is false. And the line after the condition will work only if the condition is true. And you need to remember this colon and remember this colon. If you miss them, then you will have an issue. You need to know the indentation. Have to move because become part of the if statement, which something now we know. Sometimes you have more than one condition. So assume now this one, these two are dealing now with something more than B or not more than B, but it can be equal. Yeah. So what I can do, I can have one in between, call it else if. It's another condition. A equal B. Then we can say print A is equal to B. Yeah. So now we have three situations. If A is more than B, then it will print this one. If it is not more than B, it will check the other condition. Is it equal to B? If it is equal to B, it will print this one. Nothing works, it will print this one. Yeah, so that's how it works. Now we can change this one and make it looks a little bit maybe better by looking at example. Let's take an example of assurance. Yeah, assume a company, insurance company, If you want to subscribe to them, they check your age. If you are above 60, you pay certain amount. If you are less than 60, you'll pay certain amount, something like that. Yeah. So we can say age. This is a variable we have. And let's put it now 60, then we'll change it. Okay. Then we come with a condition. Let's say another variable, insurance. Fees, we'll call it fees. Yeah, make it 0 at the beginning. Now say if age is more than or equal 60, yeah, colon, yeah, then fees will be 500 dirhams, yeah, 500. Else, yeah, fees will be 300, yeah, something like that, yeah. Now, if I run this code now, what I will get if I run this code, okay, I get nothing. If I say here, print fees equal, and then comma, and then fees, yeah, this is the one. Now, this code now, how it works, it need the age, yeah, then it will look at the age. If the age more than 60, it will be 500, yeah, so the value of fees is 500. If it is not really more than or equal 60, 60, then the fees will be 300. And then it will print. Notice this print I have here is at the same level at F. So it is outside the condition. It's done after doing the condition, yeah? I could have repeated it inside, but it's not good. This is the right way to do it. Now let's change this one instead of being just 60 to variable. We can use something called input, which we tried last time. Enter your age. As we know, this one will give us a string, yeah? So we need to change it to integer. So we can say age equal end of age. This is, I think we did last time. So basically this line asks us to enter the data. This one take that data and convert it to a number, and then goes into viz 0. Then it look if the age is more than or equal 60, we'll change the viz to 500. If it is less than that, it will make it 300. So let's run this one. We get a window here. I'll say someone is 45. So 45 will pay only 300. Why? Because 45 is not more than or equal 60. So this one will be ignored. It will go to the else, and the else it will calculate, it will find it. That's the way it works. Now this is nice, yeah? A very, very nice, easy example, yeah? Which we can look at it. Now we can have another condition in Python or any programming. You can have 2 conditions, 3 conditions, 4 conditions. So one condition, for example, A is more than B, yeah? This is the first condition. And the other condition, and, now we're using and, yeah? And A more than 10, for example. These are 2 conditions now. What do you think this condition will produce? If we run it now, A more than B, is A really more than B? What is A, what is B? We don't know the value of A and B. So let's do it here. This is A, this is B. Okay, so A is more than B, correct? Yeah, A is more than B. That's right, that's true. The challenge is there are 2 conditions. You have to meet both because we're using and require both conditions to be met. So this is met. Now, what's about the other condition? Is A more than 10? A is 8. So A is not more than 10. So this condition is not met. If one of the conditions is not met and you are using and, you will get false because and require more. So I gave an example last time. If I say anyone his name Ahmed, okay, and his age is more than 60, should raise his hand up. Yeah. So I have two conditions. I need the person to be more than to be Ahmed, and I need him his age to be more than 60. So only few people will meet that requirement. Maybe nobody will meet the requirement from our audience here. Yeah, because two requirements. But if I said the name is Ahmed or age more than 60, I'll get so many people more than that. Yeah, I'll get anyone is Ahmed, he will raise his hand. Anyone, his name is not Ahmed, but his age is more than 60, will raise his hand or her hand, and Ahmed, his hand, sorry. So, or gives you more options and limit the options because it's required the two conditions to be met. You can have another condition or be less than 5. You can have another condition as well. So you can have so many conditions in your list. Yeah. Sometime maybe you need to group those conditions together. So you can say this is two conditions, I'll put them together. So you have a bracket here and bracket here. They are two conditions. You can add to it or a third condition be less than 5. Now, if you look at this one here, and let's run that one, this gave us true. Why? We know A is 8 and B is 4. Let's think about it now. First condition, is A more than B? Yes. Is A less than B? More than 10? Is A more than 10? No. So the answer of this condition is false because A more than B, correct, true. But because of and, A is not really more than 10 because A is 8. So this is false. False and true gave us false. So this is false. So half of the condition or 2/3 even of the condition are false. But we have or here. Or B less than 5. B is 4. So it is less than 5. So this is true. And now the overall is true. See, that's where it is. Yeah. And that's how it. So when you combine the condition, you take the result of the combination and you add it to the other result, which you have. So these are conditions and how they work. So we have equal, we have not equal, less than, and we have this thing. Now, in terms of using the if statement, so quickly get to the revision. If we look at this example, for example, you have a if, and then you have a condition. This bracket is optional, but I am someone who like using the brackets. So if you do it like that, still okay. Sorry, because the brackets just make things look clearer to me. And if the way it is. Now, if this is the condition, if met, you do certain, else you do something else. Yeah. There is another one, which if you have if a condition, if met, you do something. If not met, you have another condition. But this other condition is not if, it is else if, we call it. Yeah. If this one is not true, you check the other condition. How many of this you can have? Unlimited. Later we look at example of changing marks to grade or things like that. We'll look at that. You can have unlimited. So this is the other condition. If this is false, you check this one. Okay. If this is false, you go to the else. You have another option to do. So that's how the if statement works. So let's get ready. Your phone, move your phone because you will start now having some interesting things. Okay, here is an example before you get your phone, but make your phone ready. Here is an example, similar to thing. If A is 33, B is 200. If B more than A, yes, then you print something, yeah? Now, this are the condition here. If B more than A, okay, then you now you started to get to understand it. This is a more similar to the one I did. If A is 200, B 30. If B more than A, you bring something. If they are equal, you do something else. Otherwise, you do else. It's a logical. This is called logic. So this is why. Now you need to get into the teams. Where is your phones? There's so many of you here. I can see only 30. Oh, I need to see everyone. Now, when you get into this phone, you need to start finding your way. So join a team. If you join a team, don't leave that team. Stay within that team. Now, the team has a limit. If there are 5 already in the team, you cannot be in the team. You need to find another team. So team 1 now is full. Yeah, I've seen that I give more than 5. Yeah, yeah. So put 5 in each team. I think it'll be fine. So now you're joining the teams and see how the fun will start now. We'll give you a few minutes to get your teams. Huda, how are you doing today? Go to the teams and join the team. Now you want to ask me where is the link to join? I put it in the chat. Yeah, it's the AHA slide link. Yeah, it's in the chat. I get this question every time, but here is it again. It's in the chat. So if you go there, you'll find it. Click on the chat, you will get there. While you do this, I can see I have Shuaib is raising hand and Huda raising hand. Are you serious on raising hand? Shuaib, the microphone is yours.
Assalamu alaikum, doctor. I'm sorry, I was on the way when it started, so I was delayed a few minutes. One thing I want to raise that yesterday's webinar is not on the upload.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I didn't upload it yet. I'll upload it today.
Okay. That's all from me.
Good. Thank you, Shai. Okay. Huda. Oh, sorry, I just missing.
Yes, sir, I am here.
How are you doing?
About when I am fine. What about you, sir?
Very good.
I want to ask you about the final exam, when it will be.
Anytime you are ready. The final exam is there. When you finish all the review questions, go and do it. It's up to you.
So
you
it's
do
not
it
with camera, yeah?
No, it's without camera.
And
This is no camera on this. This is from IBM. If it's from us, we will put the camera on. But it's from IBM.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you. Okay, I can see the teams is doing fine. I can see some good progress on the teams. Now, when it starts, you need to support your team, yeah? How many of you there? Still, there are many of you here, and I can see only 50 people joining. It will be fun. Now, there are some teams, there's only one, like team 17. There's only one. Okay, I think we have the best teams who are ready to do things. The others will feel later why I didn't join this nice one. I'm joking. Okay, let's move ahead because you have lots of things to cover today. So now when you answer, you contribute to the team. So the team score will appear, yeah? Okay, question number 1. As we said, the objective of this question to help you understand how this works. Now, on the mobile, it might come with overlapping text, and this is a problem they have with AHA slide. I'm talking to them to fix it, but look at it on the screen. This is an example, A is 200, B 200, and you have algorithm there. What will be the answers in this case? What this one will produce? Only 9 people are behind. I know you don't know the team members maybe, but that's it. Now let's see what the answer is. Now the answer came is A is equal to B because A was 200 and B was 200. So what the code will do, will print that one. Good. Now see the result. Team 1. Team 1 is first. Team 7 is second. So Farhana, Hiba, Muad, Gargi, El-Mouti, Fatima, they are in team 1, and then team 2 is Sarah and all the other members. So there's no big difference. Yeah. So get ready, support the team. Team 18 need to do more. Okay. Now next one. So now if A is a list, 20, 56, 54, 80. If we say A2 less than 60, is that true or false? What is, sorry, S2? What is S2? What the value of S2? And then you can find out the answers. And there is a calculation there, yeah? Good. So we have really a good number of you gave the right answers. Yeah. And what I'll do, this is the question, just because I cannot see it now, because now we just look at these questions. Saying S2 actually, this is 0, this is 1, this is it's 54. Is 54 less than or equal 60? The answer is yes. Then print 54 multiply 5. And this is what produced the result we wanted to go to 70. And 31 managed to do that. And this is excellent. Now team 1 is still ahead. Very good. Oh, they're making really a good lead on this. So they are, as a team, they're working together and producing great results. Okay, this is the and or, yeah? And means two conditions have to be met. We looked at it, if A more than B and C more than A. So both condition has to be met to get true. Otherwise, you'll get a false, okay? Here is example. This is A, this is B, this is C. If A is more than B and C more than A, take it one by one. 200 more than B, is that correct? 200 more than 33. And now look at the second condition. C more than A, 500 more than 200. So the answer of this one is true because you got here true and you got here true. So you get both true, you get true. Okay, very good. Or is the other way around. You need only one to be true and the other one may be false, may be true. You will get true. One is enough for you to do. And here is the logic. 233, 500. A is more than B, which 200 more than 33. Or, this is true now, or A more than C, 200 more than 500. No, so this one is false. This one is true, you get true. So you get this one. So one of them need to be true to get true. If both are false, you get false. Yeah. Okay. Happy with that. Okay, now get ready to your phone back. Question number 3. Yeah. So there is the question. A is 600, B is 1000, C is 800, Z is 0. And now we have this combination. What is the value of Z, in fact, after all this? I'll give you too much time to do this. Where are you now? Still, are we still going to get team A? We'll see. Okay, let's keep this one here so I can look at it later and we talk about it when it comes to that. Very good. Good number made the right choice. Only few people calculated things wrong. Now let's take it one by one. If A is more than B, is A more than B? 600 more than 1000? This is false. Or, then if it's or, I have another chance. A more than C. 600 more than 800. No, so this is false. So that condition is gone. We'll come here. If A less than B, so 600 less than 1000. This is true, yeah? Or once we have one true, we are lucky now. That means this is the calculation, but let's look again. Or B less than C. B is not less than C because it's 1000. So this is false, but this is true, and we have or. Then this is the calculation. So we need to take A minus B plus C, and then you calculate it, yeah? Okay, that will give us the right answers. So these people who selected this are the right answers. Let's see the result. Team 1 is still doing well, and they're making really big lead. Now 370 around, yeah, it's good. The others need to do more. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, the 39 already gave the answers out of 55, but we should get more. We are half the numbers are participating. I need more participation, Shabab and Shabat. I have to say Shabat, regardless of your age. It is in the heart, as they say, and mind. I know many of you are. Good. So what is the answer? Oh, this is great. I don't even to explain it. That now you're all mastering it and you understand how it works. Only 4 people who need maybe to look at things carefully a little bit more. Okay, the lead. Okay, I think the gap is getting maybe a little bit closer. I have just to say that to encourage the others. Okay, now we're done with the if statement. So put your phone aside and then we'll come back to it again. And we will have some more fun of that. I can see the 2 questions. Where we can find the recording is in the community portal. I have submitted the exam yesterday and fulfilled all the needs. Okay, when can I expect? Yeah, if you look at the badges in the IBM account, you will find your badges there. Yeah, for ADU, we will release it by the end of the week or early next week. Okay, the for loop. Yeah, loops. Yeah, in programming, you need to repeat things sometimes. This is why the computer we have, because it can do things for us many times. We looked at the loops before, but quick review on the for loop. There are two loops, one for, one while. The for using a list. So if say for I in range of 5. What does mean that? It means start I0 until 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3 until 4, that will give you 5. If I do this one, print I, we will see this one. So this is a loop that starts from 0 to 4 because we said that one. If I wanted to start from 1, I put 1 comma. Now if I print, it starts from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So always it doesn't reach the last one. It's 1 minus the last one. Yeah. Okay. So this is the for loop. For example, if I want to calculate the total of these numbers, if I put something called sum equals 0, yeah, I come here and say sum equal sum plus I. Now this is the way there's another way which I'll show you later, but this is how you calculate the total. You use the variable that you set at the beginning as a 0. Always when you add the total, you start by 0. If I ask you now, what is the total of your age? If you add age, if you take, you'll go 0, then you'll ask the first one is 50, or second one is 30, then you add it, yeah? So you start all by 0, and then you add to the 0. Now, if I run this one, what I'll get? Nothing. But if I come here at the end of that one and say print sum, let's try it. Yeah. Now I'm getting 10. So where this 10 came from? I started by 1. Yeah. So sum became 1. Then the next loop, I became 2. 2 plus the previous one became 3. Now I became 4. Yeah. 4 plus the previous 3 became, 3, yeah. Okay, and this is the way it goes, yeah. So you get the numbers and you add it, and you can look print both here. You can say print I. Let's look at it this way. So now this is 1 at the beginning, then you add 2, 2 so it became 3. 3 to the previous 3 became 6. 4 to the previous 6 became 10. I can also make this one looks nicer. If I say print and do this here, put some lines between, see? So these are the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. You add them together, you will find 10. And the way it added, this is the way it added, yeah? So this is a for loop. So you can specify the beginning and the end. I can make this one 10, and let's see. No, I don't want to make it 10, I'll make it 15. I get this one, yeah, 15. Now, if I add here 2, what that 2 will do? This 2 will skip 1 every time. Look at it before I run it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. If I run it now, you will get 1, 3, 5. So it's jumping 1. So if you want to skip anything, you add it as the third parameter. Okay, that's one. Now, if we come with a list saying S equal 2, 6, 4, 1, 8. This is a list now. Yeah. If I want to go through this list, let me call it call it list. Yeah. We'll call it list. Okay. So that's the list. Now, if I want to go through that list and print it, I can use for L, yeah, and list. Yeah, or let's call it L looks like 1, yeah. I don't like it. So for uppercase L and list. What that means for every item in this list, Yeah, do the following. So if I say here, print L, uppercase, remember I put it uppercase. Now, if I do this, see what it gives me? It goes into the list and print the value of the list. So 26418 came exactly 24618. This one is used the list. The list can have any values there. Yeah, if I do this, multiply this one by 5, this is the list. Or I can say print list and list multiply 2. Look at this. This is the original list, and everyone is multiplied by 2 because I had comma 2. Multiplied L multiply by 3. Yeah, see, this is the original L, this is the other thing. Yeah, so that's something you can do. You can also use a tab if you want. Do this one, you will see how it will look like. /t, comma, here. Look at this. It looks more organized because I added tab in between. Tab, you know, on the computer when you do Microsoft Word and press tab, you know what would happen there. Give you a distance equal every time. So this one just I added, gave me that equal. So the 4 is work with list. The list can be a number incremental from 1 to certain things, or can be a list that contain content and you go into the content and take the data. Later when we look at pandas, we'll be doing some of this thing. So this is the for loop. Yeah. Okay, so the for loop is good when you know how many times you want to repeat something. Okay, let's look at another example. Here's a list called fruits. It has apple, banana, cherry. Okay, now we go for a loop for X in fruits, print X. Every time it will print those items for us. And this is similar, the other one with the numbers. For X in range of 6, then print X. So it will print 0 until 5. Okay. This one, we said start from 2 to 6. So it will print 2 until 5. Yeah, because we start from 2. This one is saying from 2 to 30, skip 3. So it will jump 2 positions every time to the 3rd position. And that's what it will print. You can practice all this. Now get ready for this question. Where is your phone? Take your phone. Wake up your phone. Some of you, their phone went to sleep. Yeah, it's coming up. Very good. So now if I have some 0 and for X in range 1 to 10, sum equal X, what will be the sum? Now people who came before, they will maybe know the trick that I'm playing in this question and the next question. Okay, so the answer is 45. Yeah, okay. Now let's see what's happening here. The lead is still with team 1, team 2 is coming, trying, team 5. Team 7 is doing okay, moving as well up. So we have the teams are moving, okay. Let's see, where are we? This question now, instead of 1, we put 0 now. So going from 0 to 10, what will be the sum from 0 to 0, 10? Well, actually 0 to 9, yeah? This will make difference now in the result. We'll see. Okay. The answer is the same. Yes, it's 45, because if you calculate the total from 0 to 9 or 1 to 9, they're both 45. Because 0, 10 means 0 to 9, and 1, 10 means 1 to 9. Both of them will be the same thing, because the 0 doesn't add any value. So the 45 is the right. Now, those doing 55, they were doing programming in Python, or sorry, doing programming in C or Java or other languages where it can come that result if you do. But here it starts from 0. Okay, the result is there, and team 1 is making huge difference. Now it seems that team 1 is bigger than other teams in terms of number of people. And that may be some of the contribution why their score is higher. Because if I took their average, maybe they will come lower. Just for you to know, to be fair with everyone. Anyway, we'll see. Okay, Python. Okay, the loops, we spoke about the for loop. The second loop we have called while. While is similar to the for loop, but it has two main differences. Yeah. First one is it has no counter to count. So you don't know how many times you repeat. You know, you're going to repeat the loop while a condition is true. If that condition is true, you continue the loop. Now, while sometimes can cause you get you into some problems, because you can go into infinitive loop if you don't have a way to stop the loop. Let's look at some examples here. Here's an example. If I equal 1, while I is less than 6, print I. Now, at the beginning, I is 1. So 1 is less than 6. So it's true. It will go and print I. Then it will increase I by 1. This is the other way to increase I. Yeah. You can use I plus equal 1. Or you can say I equal I plus 1. Both of them are giving the same result. So here is 1. So less than 1, it will print. Second time, it's 2. Yeah. So 2 less than 6, it will print increase until it gets into 6. I become 6. So 6 is not less than 6. 6 equal 6. Then it will stop the loop. So this loop continues while condition is true. Now, if you want the loop to break at any time, you bring the word break. Yeah. Here's the example. While I less than 6, print I. So 1, it will print 1. Now it will check now, is I equal to 3? No, then it will go and continue the loop. Now I will become 2, it will print 2. Then it will go, is 2 less than equal to 3? No, it will go. Now I is 3, it will print 3. Is 3 equal 3? Yes, then it will break the loop. Yeah, so this loop will not reach to 4 and 5 because we're forcing it to break in certain conditions. So you get if statement inside the while loop. And this is something else called continue. Continue, basically, it doesn't break the loop, but it will skip the one that has certain condition. Give you here, what does it mean? If I less than 6, 1, 0 less than 6, then it will increase I by 1. Then it will get I equal is equal to 3, no, yeah, then it will print. Now, anytime it gets I equal to 3, it will skip. I'll show you some coding so you understand it much better. So let's say I equal 1 now, yeah, and while I is less than 6, okay, colon. Remember this colon, yeah? So you can say print I, okay? And if we run this one, we will get a problem unless we increase I by 1, yeah? Now, if we run this one, now it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's fine, there's no issue there. But if I come here and come with a condition, if I equal 3, I put a condition, and here say break. Yeah, let's run this one. We're getting 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we're not continuing the loop. We stop here because we use break here. So break is just stop the loop and complete it and go. But if I use continue, then what will happen? It will yeah, I had this is a see now it will continue forever because I have to break it. I have to put break somewhere. That's my challenge here. Anyway, so what I can do here, I can stop my Jupyter notebook because it will continue running now forever. Just I stopped it here, stopped it here, stop that one, go to Jupyter notebook. I have to come here, Control C. Yeah, okay, very good. Then I will run my Jupyter notebook again. Yeah, because I kept it going into infinitive loop, and that was the problem that I faced. No, this is not the one I'm working with. Which one did I use now? This is the one, yeah. This is the one we're using. Notice if you have a loop, the print has to be this one should be before. That's the mistake I had. So when I came in, this is the while loop, yeah. If I added this one before, even stop there. If I equal 3, and let me take this one up here, yeah, and put the print here, yeah, because it didn't get the chance to do that. Now, if I put a colon here and come to this one and print it here, now you can see now it's when I equal 3, it does print. So let me do this one. I'll put continue here. Continue. Yeah. Now this will produce what I wanted to produce, which I will explain to you now. So what it did now, it just skipped number 3. So it went into 2, and it went into 4, skip number 3, and continue. So this condition, when it reached I equal 3, said continue. Continue means ignore this one after. Ignore this one, yeah? So it ignoring this one and going back to the loop. Only when it's 3. If I change it to be when it's 4, then it will do 2, 3, 5, and skip 4. Yeah, so continue, force it to skip the next line, which you have in the code, and go to the beginning of the loop. Even I have here another line, say print I multiply 2, for example, say. Now, when it came, it printed 2, printed 4, skipped, then printed 2, printed 4. Yeah, this is confusing us. So let's say print thanks. Yeah, let me do it this way so you can understand. So printed 2, then printed thanks, then printed 3, which is the I, and printed thanks. Ignored 4 because I have, if 4 is here, ignore everything. So for 4, it didn't print I, it didn't print thanks, just ignored it. Then it went to 5, printed 5 because of this line, and printed thanks because of this line, and then continue. So continue force it to ignore all the lines that are part of the while loop, which after that continue, and go to the beginning of the loop and continue. Yeah, so that's the continue one. So we have 2, we have continue, we have break, which we using here. Okay, so this is continue, and we have seen break before. When we're saying break, it will break means stop completely the loop. Here it will stop after 3, print 3 and stop. In the second one, it will ignore 3 and print the remaining ones because it's using continue. Good. Now we understand loop. Let's get into functions. Now we wrote so many code here. If you look at this insurance one, looks very nice one. Yeah, we got age of the person. Then it will tell you how much you should pay. Yeah. This one I can convert it to a function. What does it mean, a function? We've been using so many functions. Remember when we use append in the list, when you use remove, when you use sort, when these are functions. Yeah. Function is a code that written once and you can call it many times. So if I put this code here and I want to make it a function, yeah. Let me just ignore this one, yeah. Now I want to make it a function. How I make it a function? I'll say def. This is how you declare the function. Def, I'll call it insurance. You need to give it a name, yeah. Insurance, and it takes age. It requires the value of the age to calculate insurance, and column. Now, if I move all these things this way, now this is a function, basically. What does it mean, function? Again, and when I run it now, I get nothing. Why? Because it's stored into the memory of the computer, and it's ready for me to call it. So what this function does, it takes an age, and then convert it to numbers, to integer. Then it will say that this is 0. It will check if the age is more than 60, it will do something. If the age is more than something, it will calculate something else and print the results. So this is the function. Now, how I can use this function? Let's say if I use this one, which I sent somewhere else, yeah. This is the one I sent somewhere else. And now if I say, use the function name, this is the function name. Now, before I do that, what does this one do? If I do this one, it will ask me for a number. Yeah, if I do 45, it does nothing because it's basically get the age and store it, and that's it. If I add to it a call to the function, so I say call that function insurance and pass the age to it. And let's do this one now. If I do 45, it's gives me like that. So every time I need to run, I just run this code. 55, I get this. If I run this code, 70, I get 500. Now I'm using the function insurance that I built here to do some work for me. Anytime I need it, I just call it and send to it a value. The value that I send to it, it will take it and take it through a process and print for me the results. So every time I call it, I get different things. Yeah, depends on the values that I provided. So a function basically is a code that you write it once, you can call it many times you need, and that make reusability of the code. So you write the code, and this function usually part of something called a class, which bigger has so many functions. We'll talk about it in a minute when we get to that. So function is this way. You use def, Then you find a name for your function. You are free to choose any name, provided you don't have space in that one. You don't start by number. You don't use special characters there, yeah, into that one. Then the function maybe require a parameter to pass to. I could have written this function differently. I'll show you another function. Let's take it and make it insurance2, we'll call it now. We can write it in a way it doesn't require a parameter. So I remove the age and I took this one here, I put it inside. Now, this insurance2 is different from insurance1 in one thing. It doesn't require any data to be sent to it. Yeah, you just need to call it. So let's run it. Now it's in the computer. You need to run it. If you do not run it and you try to call it, it will not work. Now let's use insurance2 now. Just insurance2 here. Notice here when I used it, I have to use input before and then I have to pass a parameter to it. But here I'm just using it as it is. Let me run it now. Now what it will do, it will ask me for a value. I give a value, it give me the result. Now if I run it again and use another number, give me the result. This function does not require a variable to be sent to it. It get the variable its own. So it has a line inside that get the input from the user. So these two functions are similar, but this one require you to pass to it a value as a string. Then it will convert that value to integer and then do things like that. Yeah. So if I say here 5 to that one, then it will ask me for a number again because I passed. Now if I remove this one, still it can work if I do it just this way. Yeah. See, it's just I'm passing the value, pass the value 45. It works. Yeah. See, this function insurance1, important for it, you give it a data. It requires a data. If I call without a data like this, I get an error saying what? Insurance is missing one required potential argument, which the age. So saying you didn't provide the age. It needs a number here to come. Yeah. So it will work. This one, because it has that. This one does not require. They just call it. It will ask the user to input the data and it will work. Yeah. And give you the result. So I hope you now get these functions. Now, important the function, you have a name for the function. You have open and close bracket. If the function is not taking any data, you just leave it as it is with nothing. If it requires some data, you provide those variables that it needs. It needs a colon there, and you need to move all the data to the right to make it part of the function. And once you write the function, you need to run it once, and then you call it later. When you call it, use the name of the function, and you provide the parameters if there are parameters or argument is required. And this is basically functions in general. Okay, let's come here and see what we have in the function. So a function is a block of code which only runs when it called. Yeah, when someone calling it, it runs. You can pass data known as parameters into the functions, and we passed age. That's one function. A function can return data back. Yeah, I'll show you now an example. See, these functions we wrote, insurance1, insurance2, let's create insurance3. Yeah. Let's make this insurance a good business. Now, the first two, they're not returning any value, which maybe look a little bit creating confusion for you. But if this line, I change it to return these. Now, this function, when I call it, it will do return a value. The previous one, which we use, doesn't return, it prints. It prints, yeah? So this one prints the result. This one, no, it will send it back to the caller. Let's do that one. So now, we damaged our insurer. Let's call this one. This will call insurer 3 and run it. Now let's come back to our insurance 3. Yeah, and run it now. It will ask me for 66. It will bring the result. Now this result came because of return, not because of print. So what I can do with this one, look at this function. If I say insurance 3 multiply 5, now what will come? And let's put the same 66. So 66. What happened? This insurance 3 returned a value of 500. We multiplied it by 5, we got the result 2,500. So when you have return, the value comes back to you, you can do some other process to it. You multiply it, you divide it, you put it in other functions, you do whatever to do with it. The print one will not work, that case, because this is just printing a value there. And this means returning. So it sends back to the caller a value. Look at, for example, we use some function like we used pop, POP, which we use it in the list. It will take a value from specific position and send it back to the user. So that return a value, for example. Okay, so that means return. A function can return data as a result. Can, yeah, can. Okay, so these are the 3 things. It's a building block of code. It's a code you write once. When you call it, it will run, and then you pass to it some data if it requires some data. Sometimes it doesn't pass any data, it just does own calculation, and it returns a result, or sometimes it just print the result. Yeah. Here is an example. So we created a function here called my function, and require something called food. Okay, we have a list here for X in food. So food is a list of food, and then it print X. Now let's look at this one. Fruit is a list, which apple, banana, cherry. Yeah. Now if I call the function my function and pass fruit, fruit will go here as a food, which is a list. Then it will go for X inside that food. The first X is banana, so it will print it. The second is first X is apple. The second one is banana. The third one is cherry, and then it will print it. So this one also receive a parameter, but the parameter coming to it is a list. So you can also send the list. You can send another object to the function. The function can take anything that you pass to it, and then it will deal with it. But you have to be within what has been defined. Very good. So leader table, this is the leader table to remind you with what is this here. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now back to our groups. These are our groups. And I think one thing I need to change before you continue, and this maybe will play the whole dynamic of the team. This is the quiz. Setup, we already have average score of all members. Now I change the game. Now we'll get the average score of all members. So we can see the average. We need to get the average of the group. The total is not fair because there are some people more, some groups more than other groups. Get ready now. Here is question 7. So this is the function called add, and it takes a parameter called b, and they return the a plus b. A at the beginning is 9. So what will happen if we say c equal add 10? And then print C. This is fast because it's just a simple one. The answer is 19. So it's at the beginning was 9, and then we pass to a 10. So it will add 10 to 9 and become the value is 19. Okay, so what's happening now with the score? These are now teams. So team Humaid with team number 5 is now leading. Okay, thanks. Good. Okay. I will close teams. Good. Okay, now objects and classes. Yeah, you see what we discussed today? I know it's a lot, but I hope you're getting it. You're not finding it complicated. We looked at the if statement. It's a condition. If something true or false. True, it will do the next line. False, it will jump to the else or jump to else if. Yeah, we have and, you have two conditions and you have and. So both conditions must be satisfied to get true. And then you do something. Otherwise, you go to the else or else if. Then we have or require only one of the conditions. You have two conditions, one of it met, you are fine. There's no issue. And it gives you more options. Okay, so we said that we looked at the for loop. For goes from certain number to a number. If you have 4 I in range of 10, it will go from 0 to 9. The last one is not included. You can specify to force it to start from 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever you want to do. You can decide also to skip certain numbers by adding a third one. Then we looked at the while. The while is similar to the for loop, but it continues while the condition is true. You can break it similar to for. You can use break, you can use continue on for loop as well. And you can break it when something happened at some time. Then we looked at the function. Function is a way to group your code. And instead of writing it again and again, you write it once. So you find you need a function that calculates the insurance. You create a function for the insurance. Anytime you need it, just you call it and you provide the data you need. You need a function to calculate if student scored 80, what is grade? You can create a function. You give it the score of the student in a course. It will tell you if it is A or B or C or D or F. So that's you write it once, and anytime the teacher needs, run it, provide the numbers and give the data. Now, sometimes you can even run it to go to spreadsheet and change all the score and add the grade to the student. So it becomes easy to do. So these are what we did so far. Now we're coming to a subject which is important in today programming. It's not really today. This is around maybe 30 years or something like that. What they call it object-oriented. Because the programming is growing, yeah? So many things happening. Writing programming as a small code and small functions, it will create huge code which people cannot even remember to use. So they came with the concept of object and classes. I'll give you an example. What does it mean, class and object? Human being is a class. You can look at it, yeah? So the class is human being. If I speak about a single specific human being, someone, his name is Ibrahim, his national ID is XYZR, whatever it is, and his age is this. Now I'm talking about an object. It's no more class. It's a single person from that class and specific. I can find him. I can get all his details because he has his own attributes or values for those attributes. So the class share the same attribute. For example, human being should have a name, should have a weight, should have ID. Nowadays, it should have a social media. Nowadays, it became required. It has number of attributes. Yeah, these attributes, when giving specific values, then that become an object. That's example of human being. Human being is more than being an object, but just for the example we're taking. Let's take an example of a car. A car has brand, company made it, model, mileage, color, plate number. These are all in the class car. All cars will have this, hopefully, yeah? This is a class called cars, which all the cars. If I talk about a specific car with specific plate numbers and brand registered in Abu Dhabi or in Lane or a very specific car, now I'm talking about an object of that class. And this is class and object. Now I think should be clear to you. Why we need this class, object, and those complicated things? If we look at the list, which we use list is a class, yeah? It's a class called list. That class has number of attributes. One attribute, it needs values, those numbers, you go in, okay? Has a size, how big that list in terms of size, and then has number of methods. You have seen them. We have seen append, we have seen extend, we have seen remove. Those are methods, and methods are functions. What I said, functions, methods. So a class will have a collections of attributes, that's for that class, and a collections of functions or methods. Now, when someone write a class, he will write it once and keep it there, and then start looking at it. I'll show you some really interesting thing. I had a plan. I'm not sure if I should do it or should not do it. I'm thinking during Ramadan nights, come with some workshops related to something that we can do in Python that looks like not normal thing, abnormal thing. Like for example, how I can create a PowerPoint presentation using Python. Just create slides and animation and videos by writing the Python code. I have a document, it will go open that document and go through it and create a PowerPoint presentation. That's doable, by the way. That's one thing. The other thing, maybe you can look at face recognitions and stuff like that. Maybe you can look at chatbot, creating a chatbot to answer questions for people and stuff like that. Just I need some time to organize this thing, but I'm not sure if I should do it this Ramadan or maybe we'll do it after Ramadan, because people during Ramadan will be busy. So I was looking at something. Now, good thing you can find all these things. Yeah, say create PowerPoint in Python. I found someone who really did a great work on this one. This is the page that will do this. So this guy created created a class, he called it, or a package, he called it BBTX, yeah? And that package has number of functions. So the function called presentation, create a presentation, then one called a slide, where you create a slide. You can specify the layout of that slide, the different layout. And these are functions he created in his code. He did huge work, really, which I really appreciated that he did that work. And why he did this one? Because he found he's working for a company, and that company every time come to him and say, create a PowerPoint presentation from this data. So he said, let me write something that automated, and then he shared it. And this is the programming community. People do things and share it with others, and others can improve it and add to it and do lots of things. So the classes can make you do lots of things. We said the list is a class, set is a class, pandas later we'll talk about, it's a collection of classes. Now, when you have so many classes, you will call it object. Now, how to create a class in Python? Let's look at this one. So In Python and it is object-oriented programming, Python. Anyway, all those languages came since 2000, I think 1993 or 19, they became object-oriented programming because it really scale things. People can write classes and object and packages, and the users will call it only. You don't need to write anything. You will see with pandas, we don't need to write anything. We write only one line of code. We'll do something that people will spend hours and days to do in other languages because we're using a package and classes are already made for us. We're just knowing what data we need to pass to it, what method we should be using. The list itself is a very complicated thing if you look at it without having the list class. Okay, almost everything in Python is object. So these are all object we're dealing with. The numbers are object, list object, everything. A class is like the object constructor. I think we don't want to just complicate it for you. Now you understand it. Now this is a class in Python. Now we're creating, I'll make it clear. Looks Chinese, but will become like a normal thing in hopefully in a few minutes. Now, when you create a class, you start by the word class. Like when you create a function, we start by the word def. Yeah, this is the same class. Then you give it a name. It's a practice that the first letter of the class should be uppercase. The name. This name you come in with anything. We call it here person. We can call it student. We will create one called student later. So, and then a colon. This colon everywhere. Okay. Inside that one, you will have a list of functions. One special function, this one, this is special. Every class should have this function. This is, we call it constructor, is the one will build the class or build the object of that class. And this is always the same from here, def, then underscore, underscore, to underscore, init, exactly init. You cannot come with a new name, underscore, underscore, open bracket, self, comma. Until here, they are all the same constructors. Now, this person has two attributes only, yeah? We can give him more. One attribute called name, and the other attribute called age. We decided to call it like that. So the constructor is def underscore underscore init underscore underscore open bracket self, comma, and then you list the attributes. One is name, one is age. You close the bracket, which is this bracket, colon, and then you can here come with giving a value to the attribute. So the attribute name, and you need to use the word self. Self means myself, the class itself. This is important to have self. So self.name equal name, self age equal age. So this one and this one are the attribute. This one here is the variable that being passed to create it. So if when we call this function, we actually creating an object of class with specific name and specific age. Until here we finished. This is the whole construction of the class. So you have a class, you have name of the class, you have a constructor object here. Now, this is creating the class. Now calling the class. This is nothing now of creating, this is calling. So we'll create an object of the class person, we call it P1. We can call it anything again. P1 equal person, so we're calling the class that, and we'll pass to it the name John and the age 36. When we do this one, it will go to the class, it will find this method constructor, will give the name as John, the age as 36. So this now, there is an object called P1, has a specific name, which John has a specific age, which 36. Anytime I want to find what is the name or what is the age of that object, I use the object, yeah, P1, then the attribute. I want P1 name will give me John. P1 age will give me 36. Let's do one so we can understand how it works, and then we will come to the details. Okay, let's have some fun. So class, we'll call it student. I like calling it student. Yeah. Div underscore underscore init. Yeah, this is always the same. Yeah, you notice here, it's always the same until self. That's what we said. Then we'll have here self means anything now coming is to me. We will give student a name. Yeah, we will give him course, and we will give him a mark. Let's do something more interesting. Now colon, that's it. Now, if you want to set up the name, so you can say self name equal name. So this is the attribute. We'll give the name. You can now understand it. Self course will be equal to course, and self mark equal mark. Now this class has been created. Now it has only one method. We'll create more methods. I'll show you what we mean. Now, if I want to create a student from that one, we call it st1, for example, or s1, yeah, equal. I will call the class with student. When I call the class, I'm actually calling the class and calling the constructor. Now, what is the name of that person? We'll put him Ahmed. We'll give him a course, Python programming. We'll give him a mark of 85. Yeah. So now this S1 is an object of the class student. If I do S1 name, what I will get? I'll get Ahmed. S1 course, I get programming. S1 mark, or marks, I put it mark, is 85. Now I can create another student, leave that student there. We'll create S2. Yeah, we'll call the same thing here. Same, but we'll give him different name. We'll call him, what do you want to call him? Yes, yes, David, yeah. David, okay. David, and he's studying chemical engineering process, whatever course he's doing. Okay, and his grade is 78. He's finding it a little bit challenging, but he will do well. I know him, he's good. I'm joking. So now we have two objects of the class student. If I do S1 name, you will find Ahmed. If I do S2 name, I'll get David. Yeah, so now I'm ready to create as much as you want to do, yeah? Now let's add another function to this class, yeah? Our own function. What should we say? Okay, we'll make a complicated function. You ready? You ready, yeah? Great, okay. We will say grade. Now there is a mark and there is grade, as you know, yeah? Now this function grade, it will take self mark and find what should be the grade. Is it A or B or C or D? Okay. So let's say here, if we'll put a condition, if we will see if he's passing or failing first, yeah, and then we can do the other thing. If self dot mark yeah, the attribute self, more than or equal 60, yeah. We'll say print pass, okay, else colon will print failed. Failed is not good one, not passed. We'll use something more. Yeah, it's the same thing. See, we have now another function we added to our student. Yeah. Here now all of them will be passing. If I call S1 grade, yeah, S1 grade, student object has no attribute. Okay, so let's create, yeah, because we created before. Let's run this one. I'll run this one now and say S1 grade. Yeah. Something going wrong here. What are you doing? Grade takes 0 position argument, but one is given. What is the one is given? I didn't give it anything. Yeah, sorry, self. Sorry, self. That's the self. Let's run this one. Run this one. Run now. Great. See, get passed. Yeah. Now, if I make S1, sorry, S1 John, I'll make you 55. Yeah. So we created these two. Now, if I run grade 1 is passed. If I look at Mr. John, he didn't pass. Yeah. So I created another function. You notice now, this is the constructor, the one create the object. This one is another method or function that check the grade of the student. Is he passing or failing? So this one use self, has to be self. That's the mistake we made. Then we'll say self dot mark more than or equal 60, then it's passed. Anytime I call this S1 or S2 grade, I can create as much as I want functions here from that class. So they are all part of the same class, as you can see. When I create an object, this object can use those functions, like the list can use all those functions. We spoke about it before, from append to extend to everything. Now, this student class we created can use grade, and I can add to it, for example, move him to another program, change program. If I add the program name here, or register him in a new course, and I make this course like a list of courses that he can do. I can add the semester the student is studying in. So I can get this class big and big and big, and more I can add useful functions inside that class, the more I make it easy for me in the future to use it, or other programmers to use it there. And these are classes. Yeah, I hope you made it, I made it clear, and we can do some other review. Now, one more question is coming. Where is your phone? Guys, where is your phone? Live. Get your phone ready. Wake up. Are you still there? Yeah, you're still there. Most of you are there. We'll do this one, then we will. Okay, let's do that. Now back to this. Now we're back to those teams which we have them there, and you need to wake up so your team did not lose point, and start the quiz. This is the last question that will make the team that will win. I know I changed the game in between, but you understand. It's meant for you to learn from these questions, not really winning or not winning. But this, by the way, they call it gamification in education. I think it's useful. It just gets students to be active and participate and learn as well. Through these questions, you can learn and check your understanding and clarify concept. It helps, but we need students to take it seriously and benefit from that one. Some people don't participate, which is not good. Participate, please. You don't lose anything. You will gain, for sure you will gain. Okay, this is a class called student. It has age and then has one called increase age. Yeah, I created this one last time. So if a student Ahmad and he is 25, then we call the function increase age and then we print his age. What his age will be? I'm using age for male participants, not for female. Female, they don't, their age do not go up by year. I'm joking. Okay, let me see who is. Today I didn't answer any of your questions, I know. Yeah, the AHA slide link is there. I did it at the beginning, and if you look in the chat, you will find it there. But it's too late now to share it. I'm sorry, I didn't look at that chat, but I put it there. Oh, every time now when I start, I first add the AHA slide link in the chat. So always it's there. Okay, I gave you too much time for this question because I thought maybe it doesn't take too much time. But there are still some people didn't answer yet. Maybe they want to get it right. One, two. See if the others complete the answer, then it will move automatic to the next one. But anyway, we are there. Okay, so the answer is increasing the age by 10 will get you to 35 because we're using it. It's not 25, it was 25, then we use the function or method increase age when we pass to that 110. So the age now changed, became 25. It's not 10 because we added to the age, we did not change the age from 25 to 10. So the right one is here, and most of you got that one, which is really good. Let's see who are the winners. Team 5 is the one who is leading and winning. It's Humaid Salam team. This is very good. Excellent. Okay, so these are the other teams which we have here. And we also have team 17 also did. I think we had 2 games here, seem to be. Anyway, both of you did great. All of you did great. And this is really good. Now, still one more thing we need to do before we go, but we can do it maybe later. But this is quickly, just quickly, it's exception handling. Means if you want to avoid your program crashing. So if you don't want your program to crash, you can use these 2 words, try and accept. Try any code that you're writing, you can write here. If anything went wrong when the computer trying to run your code here, then it will jump to the accept. Quick example, yeah? I'll give you now a quick example here and then you'll understand it, yeah? So if we say try, okay? We say print M. Remember, I didn't use M at all, yeah? Then I say accept, print M is M's our case. M is not defined. See, I'm just following. M should be uppercase if I'm writing English language. I'm not writing English language. I'm writing coding, yeah, because here I'm using M variable. Anyway, so if I try print M, this code will not work. Why? Because M in a normal situation, if I don't use try, and let me copy this here, and let me create one more cell. Too far. Yeah, let's do another more cell here. Okay, and let me here just do this. Print M. If I do this, what I'll get? I'll get an error. See, saying M is not defined. It doesn't know M. But if I use this code, if it cannot find the value for M, it will go to this one. So it will not crash. Yeah, so it said to me, M is not defined. If I define M to be 20, M equal 50, for example, yeah, and then run this one, now it will print 50 because this one is fine. The idea behind it is if you try and accept, your code will not crash if something wrong into the try. Now I can come here and do something that really doesn't follow any coding. Yeah, I do something like this, for example. If I run it, it will not crash. This is wrong, completely wrong. Something, whatever it is, Hamad, I'll say. Yeah, whatever it is. It will not crash. Yeah. Now it just went into too far. Yeah. Yeah. It will not crash. Even Hamad is something wrong. Because if this one didn't work, it will not stop the code. It will jump here and tell me, oh, your code, there's a problem with your code. You can have any message to your user here, say there is an error. Yeah. Now, anytime it runs, so try and accept, similar to Java and C, something called try and catch and final as well. There's something called finally as well. Yeah, finally is a good thing. Finally it will be printed in all cases. Yeah, print, let's say print, this will be always printed. Okay, regardless. So when I run this one, there is an error here. You notice when it finds an error, it jumps to accept and gave me the error, and then printed finally. Now, if this is something right, like I said, print M now, and M already defined. Yeah, if I run this one, try, fine, printed M, and then also printed finally. Finally will be always printed, regardless if there is error or there is no error. So sometimes you have some code, you need to run it even if there is an error in the previous code. So you put it in finally. It's a very simple thing. Try, colon, and then the code you need to do. And now we can apply it to this one. Example here, say try, I can add try. I can move this one there, okay? I can come here and say accept and say print, you need a value for marks, yeah? Yeah, so this can now apply to this function. Just I organize the function by added the logic inside try, and I added a message in case that logic did not work to avoid my code crashing. You can use try and accept anywhere in your code when you think the user will provide some data and this data may be not in the right format or something like that. Or you're searching for a file to open and the file is not there. Should your computer crash? No. Should tell the user file is not there. instead of crashing. Yeah. So this is try and catch. I think we done that one as well. Thank you. I know that tomorrow will be important session. I know it's a weekend, but it's the one that will finish the pandas and NumPy. It's very important because it's the one where we do the data analytics. Now we'll do that and then we'll go through some revision. Now you should be able to go now to the IBM, whatever it is, and complete the cognitive, the cognitive class there. And you should be able to complete module 3 with no issue. The questions there are very simple questions. We covered all of their same concept. You need time, practice again and do it, but I think you will find it very simple. Just I'll go through it quickly before we go. Now, there are a few questions here inside. You can look at them, but there are 6 questions here, which you need to look at it. And these questions are very simple. See, this one is on the if statement. X is 1, F is not equal to 1. What should do? A very simple one, yeah? And this is a list. And then we're going to print the data inside the list and multiply it by 2. Oh, very simple thing. This is creating a function called delta, which take variable X, and it check if X is equal 0, then it does Y something. If it's not, do the thing. A very simple one. Similar thing to delta. And the last one is just, this one is just sorting. What is the correct way to sort a list? Yeah, and that you know it from the previous one. What are the keys of the following? These are the, we did the dictionary before. We said every dictionary has a key and a value. Okay, what are the keys here? Are they A, B, C, A, B, or they are 1 and 2? We know it from previous. Very simple one. You can do it in no time, and then you should be ready to finish this module. We need to run because there's Omar came to remind me there is another session will start now.
Thank you, Doctor.
On the same account. Thank you, everyone. Have a good time and see you tomorrow.